Okay, thank you. And sorry for the teething problems there at the start of the Taking Your Business Digital Google Hangout on air. This clearly is the first one we've done at fourth level digital media, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to look at it. Brief background on fourth level digital media. We're a new company started in September 2014, and we're dedicated to helping businesses big and small and brands like yours getting found on the web, basically. And we're currently providing digital solutions for companies in the form of articles, blogs, social media account management. Sorry for that interruption. Okay, basically, it's digital has become this, like the universe, ever expanding blank canvas for people to market their business on. And it's quite easy to get lost in digital because just when you think you've got a handle on something, there's a new thing comes out. Or even if you're someone who has a business that is typically advertised in the traditional manner on radio, say, or print, digital can be quite overwhelming. If you look at the definition of what digital marketing is, it's marketing that uses devices such as PCs, smartphones, tablets, and consoles to engage with customers. Many organizations use a combination of traditional and digital marketing channels, and the benefit of using digital is that it's quite easy to track and it only costs you if someone uses it. So or how many people see it and what impact it has on them. If you use digital marketing strategies, you only pay when people click on the ad they've seen. So they can see it. You can use it as a brand building exercise. You can spray your ads all over the place. People can see them all over the place, but you only pay for it if someone clicks on the link in the ad. Now that's the kind of the stock definition of digital marketing. But the definition is one thing, but the why you engage in digital marketing is the other. And basically, the goals for digital marketing are to reach, to acquire, to inform, to inspire, to retain, to create advocates, and most importantly, to create customers both online and offline. As we'll see later, digital marketing will help an offline business as much as it can help an online business. Okay, so let's just break down digital marketing into the various elements and levels of it. And let's see what you need in the first instance to get yourself started, see how you're set up to start your digital marketing program, and then what you need to do after that. So essentially, I mean, all digital marketing originates or centers out of your website. Your website is your digital hub. You can't really engage in digital marketing properly if you don't have a website. Yes, you can have a Facebook page or a LinkedIn profile, and that will get you some exposure in the digital world. But to do it properly, you need a proper hub, which is your website. Now, there's lots of apps, solutions, even websites themselves dedicated to helping people start their own website very simply and in free in some cases. But don't underestimate what you will lose out in design and ease of navigation and speed of loading. If you've done it yourself, chances are your design and your speed won't be optimum. It takes people only a fraction of a second to make a first impression, and if you've lost a customer, you've lost a customer. If they find your website clunky, slow to move around, they will move on to the next one. Now, once you have your website, you have your pages well designed, and you have an operating system and a server that allows your pages to load up fast. You now need to start populating that with content, and it's content specific to your business. And we don't just want content; we want killer content. Um, if you're going to the bother of loading this stuff up onto your website, we're not doing this for the sake of it. We're doing this because we want people to hear our story, believe our message, and get excited by what we're telling them about our product, our business, or our service. So it's not for the sake of it. It's not filling space out there in the ether. It has to be killer content. If you're an existing company, a large company that's typically done traditional marketing, you will have probably filing cabinets full of promotional literature, brochures, flyers, marketing collateral, basically. You need to distill this down, get the key killer sales messages, your unique selling points, get them into web-based content and start populating your site. Now, while you're doing that, you need to consider something called search engine optimization, SEO. Basically, what you're going to do is make it easier to be found by the people searching on the internet. So when you're populating your site with your killer content, just be considerate of what you want to be found or how you want to be found or what you want to be found for. So it's all about making sure that your content is keyword rich. So what are the words that associate you with your products, and how are people going to find them? What search terms would people use to find you or your product or your service? And that's search engine optimization. You can get very technical about your SEO, but it doesn't have to be. It can be very simple, and it's typically, you know your business better than anyone. You know what you'll be found for. You know how people will find you, and therefore, just being a little bit careful about creating and shaping the content will solve a lot of the SEO or the search engine optimization problems before you need to do anything. And finally, once you have your website set up, you've got your killer content on there, you now need to start amplifying that content. So you now need to start sharing those links around your social media. And a common misconception is that digital marketing is social media. So if I have a Twitter account or if I have a Facebook like page, I am doing digital marketing. And you are, but only to a certain extent. You're only dipping the toe in the water. Social media is great for creating a personality for your business, engaging with audiences, and amplifying your content. But it's only a fraction of the effort. Everything that you see, it's the final step in 4 stages there. You'll need a website. It will have to be well designed. It needs to load pages fast. You will have to have killer content. That content will have to be SEO or search engine optimized so that people can find you. And then you start pushing it around on social media. Social media is the last leg. I think a lot of people think it's the first leg. It's actually the last leg in digital marketing and that strategy. Now, once you've done this, it's not a straight through process, start and finish, and that's it. You need to analyze what you've done, test things then against themselves. So something you quite often hear in digital marketing is an A/B test, where you have similar pieces of content, be them articles, videos, pictures, advertisements, maybe a Google AdWords campaign, and you test one off the other and you see what works, and try and analyze what is it that made A better than B or B better than A. You then refine that with the new knowledge you have and you iterate. You just do it again. You just recreate your content, repurpose your content, or blank canvas, brand new content, and go through the steps again. Now, so what? What's all this about? Basically, what you're doing is making yourself easier to be found on the web when people are searching for what you have. Okay, I mean it's a phrase now. It's like the Hoover or the Sputnik to Google something. You know, it is if you need to find out something, instead of asking somebody a silly question about, oh, you know, what's the size of this, the capital of that, the distance to here, you'll often be told just Google it, and Google will have the answer. And it's the exact same for people's shopping habits, which we are going to find out a little later. Now, why is all this important? My business is offline. I can survive offline. I don't need to be online. Well, if you're happy enough to survive offline and you don't want to grow your business to where people are actively looking for solutions to whatever problem they have, that's fine. But we're going to see a little later that online presence can actually help your offline business hugely. Just because your product is hammers or nails or ball bearings that go into a complex machine that only engineers use doesn't mean that you can't benefit from some class of an online presence. People quite often do their search online and then go and look for the offline business to supply them with the solution. And we will see some evidence of that a little later. Now, just to drag it home to Ireland, obviously Fourth Level Digital Media is based in Ireland. So just to give you some stats on how the Irish economy has been shaped by the digital economy and how that's a growing part of it. So back in 2007, the digital economy accounted for nearly 3% of Irish GDP. That grew to nearly 4.5% in 2012 and accounted for about 7 billion in trade. The UK are somewhere similar, maybe a little bit ahead of us. They're coming in at 6% GDP, but it's forecast to be about 10% of the Irish economy and about 20 billion by 2020. And that's only whatever, 6 years, nearly just under 6 years away. Now, if we analyze the makeup of that digital economy, about 3.7%, about 3.7 billion was spent online by Irish consumers. Now, about 70% of that went outside the country, which means there are quite a few Irish businesses missing opportunities, maybe because they're not online or their online presence isn't significant enough to get them found. Now, about 25%, only 25% of Irish SMEs, small to medium enterprises, are online at the moment. So I think there's a huge gap there that maybe some businesses and services are missing out on. Irish consumers have an average of 3 connected devices. So what that means is at any time, an Irish person will be within touching distance of 3 things that are hooked up to the internet, probably through Wi-Fi. They will definitely have a phone on them. Chances are they will have an iPad or some sort of tablet close by, and then their Kindle, the laptop, the television, your Apple TV, your Netflix, whatever it is, you'll have some other device that's connected to your Wi-Fi. So basically, the Irish person is never too far away from doing a Google search. Ireland is ranked 6th out of 46 countries globally for multi-screening. And what this means is you could be sitting down in front of the telly watching Fair City, but you have your iPhone in your hand and you're looking at Facebook or Twitter, or you're Googling something or researching something online. About 25% of Irish consumers will leave a website if it's not mobile responsive. So, for example, if you're on the way into town and you're doing a bit of shopping on a Saturday morning or whenever it is, and you flick open your phone and you start searching for whatever it is you're heading into town to buy, if the product turns up on a website that is not mobile responsive, meaning the screens don't snap to the size of your mobile phone in your hand, people are going to walk away from that. So having a website is all well and good, but stage 2, as I said, the design and speed, being mobile responsive is part of that design. 19% of Irish people used their smartphone in their last purchase. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. People on the bus on the way into town or sitting at lunch, Googling stuff they're going to buy after work or whenever it is that they do their shopping. But it's now more than ever being increasingly important for business to be online. Whether your business is a shop, something that sells products online, or a service that's provided in the real world, you still need an online presence to be found. Why? Well, the digital economy is growing. People are spending money. Now, there's lots of it leaving Ireland, unfortunately, so you can get a jump for your business and against competitors if you take yourself online. And you have to take it seriously. It can't just be a token presence with a Facebook page or the odd advertising campaign on the internet that takes you to a shoddy website. You need to have everything stacked up, lined up together, and you take it as seriously as you want people to take you serious. So if you have a shoddy website and a poorly laid out bits of content scattered around the place, don't expect people to take you seriously. But if you stack up the 4 layers as I did earlier on, it should make a meaningful difference to your business. So how did we shop before the internet? It seems like, well, we survived for so long without a digital marketing strategy or a digital economy. So why do we need it now? Well, let's look at what happened beforehand. Now, in a piece of research that Google did, they found out that there was a 3-step mental model to the purchase. We saw a stimulus, we reacted, we had a first moment of truth when we actually physically engaged with the product, and our second moment of truth was when we used it and then maybe told someone about it or went and bought more. The first moment of truth, this is the key bit in this whole process. So key that Procter & Gamble actually hired a director of first moment of truth. And they said the best brands are consistently winning 2 moments of truth. The first one when they engage with it on the shelf, and the second one when they take it home and are delighted or aren't and start telling people about it. Now, this seems like common sense, and this seems like, your businesses have been doing this forever. But these quotes were taken from a 2005 Wall Street Journal article by someone reviewing the Procter and Gamble decision to have a director of first moment of truth. So it's only as recently as 2005 that people started to just define how shopping is done and the mental model that people use. Now, if you roll it forward just 5 years, Google created a new mental model, and it introduced the zero moment of truth. And this is where, before you engage with the product, before you actually use it, um, somebody somewhere does a search, and it may not even be as specific as naming that product. They might, you know, in the case of, let's say, running shoes, Asics are known as the best running shoes, but you might know that. So you Google what are the best running shoes to use, or something like that. And that is the zero moment of truth. It's where people begin to research or engage with products and brands before they even know what they're engaging with, if you like. Now, what is the zero moment of truth? It's when people's It's when people grab a device and just start Googling or searching for things. It doesn't have to be Google. It can be Yahoo, or YouTube is in fact the second largest search engine. And it happens at any time of the day. They pick up their device and they start plugging in keywords and they start looking for a solution to the problem they have. That is the zero moment of truth. The conversation is multi-way. So this is where the digital marketing really takes over. It can be the company pushing information on their product. It can be consumers who've used the product putting in reviews. It can be, say, like Super Value, bringing together a number of those products so that you have a choice. Uh, it's it's multi-level, it's multi-layer, it's a two-way conversation. And if there's something really good about it, chances are you'll find it. If there's something really bad about it, again, chances are you'll find it. So instead of businesses and brands relying on advertising pushing information at the consumer, it's now a two-way conversation. And the zero moment of truth is essentially the first instance that you'll be found and your first impression you can make online in a digital marketing capacity. Now, here's some more proof from Google. They launched a thing called the Consumer Barometer, and it's done by different countries around the world. So you can get information specific to your country. Obviously, Ireland is the one we're talking about today. So which online sources played a part in reaching your final purchase decision? You can see there online research on brand websites 30%, on retailer websites 20%, social networks 6%. So if you just had a Facebook presence, you're only getting 6% of the views here. And video sites 8%. They're becoming increasingly important. So that's about 2/3 of 3,000 Irish consumer surveys said that about 50% of the time they're looking at the brand's website or some class of a retailer's website, and other websites like that. How do people use the internet to help with their final purchase? 80% of 2,000 people surveyed used the internet in these three ways. They either got inspiration online. So let's say, as I was using the runners, if you don't know what the best runner is to go jogging, just plug in the question, what is the best runner for jogging? You don't know the product or even the brand, but you'll get ideas and you'll be inspired by a search like that. You can discover relevant brands. Most importantly, though, you can compare product and prices and features, and that's typically what people do once they know what it is they're buying. And it might be down to two brands or two types of product from one brand, and they do comparisons and analysis that way. Now, but wait. Again, if we go back to the people who are saying, yeah, but look, I have a shop. I don't need an online presence. People walk into my shop every day and buy goods. I don't need to be online. Well, you don't, but you're missing a trick and you're probably losing out on customers, because when people did all this online research and you bring it back down to, right, what did you do ultimately with that knowledge? 54% of them went to the store and bought the product they had done the research on. 9% bought it over the phone, 1% mail ordered it, and a third of them then bought it online. So still over half of us are still doing the stuff, research online, and then going to the shop and buying it, which is great. It means money is still being spent in the real economy. It's obviously a huge positive for jobs and for retailers, but it also proves that your online presence can complement and is becoming increasingly important for an offline business to capture increasing market share. So even if your business is offline, you absolutely 100% need to be online. Now, being online is just the beginning of the journey. You must know who your audience are, find out where they go online, engage with them, solve their problems, inform and delight them, and basically listen as well. Listen to what they're searching for in the first instance so that you know what keywords to use in your content. Um, and basically just make it a two-way conversation. Your content should never be, you should never think of content as you're creating a traditional advertisement. Your content is something that should resonate with your audience and create engagement first with them. Make them want to come back to you and for, ask for more information or ask for advice. That's really what your content is going to do for you. Now, if we dial it all back to one of the first slides I had, the 4 steps. First, you need to be online, and you need to be online in a meaningful presence. You need to have a website that's designed well and loads up fast. Once you get that, then you can start looking at content and social media and amplifying your content. But first, you need to get online. Now, what we'll do is we'll stop there and we will take up what you do once you get online next week in the next Hangouts on Air. Thanks a million for your time and attention. Sorry for the teething issues at the start. Clearly, it's the first one we've done here. Hopefully, there won't be such problems in the next one. But once again, thank you for your time and attention. That's our website. This has been recorded and will be available on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll be able to edit out the bit at the start that was a bit, let's say, unscheduled. And if you need to contact me or you'd like to talk more about anything you've heard in this presentation, there's some contact details. Once again, thanks for your time and attention, and we'll catch you again next week, hopefully.